So, anyway, actually, Ken is doing a speech from the Speak to Inform Advanced Toastmaster Manual. His speech is entitled Online Dating. Ken Brzezinski, Online Dating. Thank you.
Have you ever participated in online dating, met someone, and it just didn't work out? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or you've heard about people, they're excited about meeting someone, and then it just didn't work out. Well, today you're going to hear about the results of research that shows you why eHarmony and Match.com can't really deliver on what they promise. But before I tell you those results, I'll first tell you a little bit about my own online dating experience. About 2 years ago, I found online, according to a profile, an attractive, red-haired woman about 5'2", my height, good educational background, so I knew we'd have something to talk about. Family in Vermont, where I have family in Vermont, so we had something in common, and I arranged to meet her. So we got together in a coffee shop, classic first date, sat down, with a great smell of coffee, Starbucks environment, which I like. And I said, Sue, tell me a little bit about your family in Vermont, and she did. And she asked me about my background, and I told her, and I looked at her, and I thought, you know, she actually looks like the photo in her profile. Have you ever had that experience where you go on the date and you say, who is this? You know what I mean? I thought, okay, Sue didn't look too different at all. In fact, she looked like her profile. And as we talked more and more, I asked her about, like I said, her family. It turned out she did have family in Vermont like me. And she was well educated, so we had highfalutin things to talk about. And everything looked good, except something was missing. Something is missing. Now, you might be thinking it's that mysterious thing called chemistry. Now, to me, chemistry is too vague. You know, it's a catch-all for all those things we think should work. There are specifics that make or break a relationship, and I was trying to figure out what it was, and I couldn't. But the first date went well enough that I set up a second date. And we met again, and the vibe was good. She still looked the same, which was good. Right? No big changes in 1 week. We had very nice conversation. Again, the coffee was filling up the place. The setting of Starbucks was perfect. The conversation was good. And we talked, and I still thought something, what is missing here? Why isn't this going somewhere? It was still good enough to have yet a third date. Third date, wine. Right? Wine in the wine bar. Maybe that'll loosen this up a little bit. And during that third date, I said, Sue, what's not working between us? And Sue said, I don't want to talk about it. Have you ever been with people like that? They don't want to talk about it, you know? Mm-hmm. I said, oh, come on, Sue, let's see. I mean, we have a lot in common. Why isn't this working? I don't want to talk about it. How is this ever going to work out if we can't talk about it? I don't talk about things like that. Needless to say, that was the end. That was the third and last date. But in there was the hint of what the problem is with online dating. And I found out the answer when I went to a talk by Professor Eli Finkel from Northwestern University, who's a professor of psychology who specializes in online dating and relationships. And he did a whole series of studies to see if Match.com and eHarmony could actually deliver on what they promise, which is they will match you on 49 levels of compatibility, and as such, your chances of having a good relationship will result. And what he found was that eHarmony and Match.com can't give you the information that you need for a successful relationship because that information cannot be found in a profile. So what do you think it is that's missing in a profile that you need to know if the relationship's going to work? Take a guess.
Honesty.
Honesty. Suppose we're honesty. I mean, how do you tell that from profile? It's hard.
Yeah.
Okay. What else do you think it might be?
Bipolar disorder.
Yeah, you want to know that, and very few of them admit it. You might think sex appeal. You might think the mysterious chemistry. You might think, well, educational background. You can tell. It turns out it's none of those things. What it is that he found from his research, which was a make or break aspect, and you cannot tell from the profile, is how two people resolve conflict in person, how they deal with differences. When you get together and things aren't working like Sue and me, how you talk about those things. And if you can talk those things through, you have the potential for a good relationship. So what was Professor Finkel's recommendation? His recommendation was go offline as soon as possible. Yeah, meet people online, that enlarges your pool. Go on dates as soon as you possibly can, because it's only in the face-to-face interaction that you could actually tell if that person could work with you, could talk things through. Now, if you don't want to do that, and you want to continue with what many people do, which is online emailing back and forth for months, building up this imaginary relationship so that when they actually meet, it doesn't work. You could do that, or you could follow Professor Finkel's advice, which is meet someone, and as soon as possible go out for a 20-minute coffee date and find out. You could even create a little conflict, see how they handle it. So, the bottom line from all this is online dating can work based on the research, but only if you go offline as soon as possible. All right, thank you very much.